Welcome back. Still on partial fraction. Please don't forget that whenever you're watching any of our videos, always look below the video. You will always see a playlist there. So whenever you see a video that is attached to a playlist, always click on the playlist and watch the video from the beginning, from part 1, from part 2. Do you understand? So because if this partial fraction, if this video is particularly your first time watching partial fraction, please click on the playlist below this video. You will see the videos we made on partial fraction where it teaches you how to differentiate what type of partial fraction you are dealing with. Either it is a distinct linear factor, or a distinct quadratic factor, or a repeated linear factor, or a repeated quadratic factor, or it is an improper fraction. So there are different types of partial fraction, and the major way on how you are going to split it is the major concern on partial fraction. How to split that type of partial fraction is the major concern. So in the first video on partial fraction, when you click on the playlist, you will see the first video we made on partial fraction where we taught how to differentiate what type of partial fraction you are dealing with. So please don't forget, click on the playlist and watch the video. Now coming to this example, now the question says resolve 2 plus x over 3 minus x, 1 minus x all square into partial fraction. Now when you see this kind of partial fraction, what type of partial fraction is it, and how do you separate them? How do you split it? That is a major concern. Now solution. We are given 2 plus x, then over 3 minus x, 1 minus x all square. Now if you look at it now, for those that watched the first video on partial fraction, by now you should know what type of partial fraction this one looks like. This is a repeated linear factor, right? This is a repeated linear factor. How do you know it? How do you know it's a repeated linear? If you look at the denominator, you see this linear factor, it was repeated twice. So this is under repeated linear factor. Do you understand? So, and how do we say we are going to split a repeated linear factor? Then let's start. You say, let's go. That would be a over the first one here. This is 3 minus x, then plus, then followed by b. So here will now be, you say b over 1 minus x, then you now have another one, say c over 1 minus x all square. This is not difference of 2 square. Don't go and say 1 minus x, 1 plus x. No. Shey you understand? This is not difference of 2 square. There's difference between 1 minus x square and 1 minus x all square. There is difference between these two guys. This is a repeated linear, while this is what? A quadratic factor. Shey you understand? So when you see something like this one is difference of 2 square. You can call this 1 minus x and you can call this 1 plus x, right? So why this one is just like 1 minus x in two places, 1 minus x. But if I were to do it like that and say b over 1 minus x plus c over 1 minus x, it's still the same thing. Either I get, whenever I do for b, I'm still also getting for c. So it can't work like that in this place. So under partial fraction, what do we say? We say b over 1 minus x. Then you now have another one, say c over 1 minus x all square. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. Now, the way we used to do it, after you've splitted it successfully, now the next thing is to do what? Is to do our LCM. What will be our LCM? Our LCM will be what? That's 3 minus x and 1 minus x all square. Now, this in this LCM, this is our LCM. This in this LCM is 1. This will cancel this will cancel this. That's 1. 1 multiplied by 2 plus x will give us 2 plus x. You say equals to. This in this LCM, I'm doing for a part now. This in this LCM will cancel this. It remains what? It remains 1 minus x all square multiplied by what? A. So what do we say? You say a into bracket 1 minus x all square. Then plus this in this LCM will cancel one of this, right? This will cancel 1 from here. It will remain 1. Then it remains 3 minus x and 1 minus x multiplied by what? B. So what do we say? You say here is what? B into bracket 3 minus x. Then what do we have? 1 minus x. It remains 1. This has cancelled 1 from here. It remains 1 and this multiplied by b. Then plus c. So this in this LCM will cancel this, right? It will remain 3 minus x. That's c into bracket 3 minus x. So after you've done this successfully again, you're on the right track. So the next thing, our major aim is to get this a, b, and c. That's our major aim. So how do you get it now? Let's start with a. You said to find a. You say to find a. You now come under a where you splitted it. What is under a? You say put 3 minus x equals to 0. You put it equals to 0. If I want to find b, you come under b. You equate. You know that's the way we did it now. When you watch those videos, you will see how we explain this. So I'm looking for it. I'll come under it. So you say put 3 minus x equals to 0. So what will it be? That will be 3 is equals to, when minus x cross, that will be plus x. Therefore, x equals to what? 3. So wherever I see x in this place that I did the LCM, I'll put 3. So what are we going to have? That will be 2 plus 3 equals to a into bracket. Here will now be 1 minus 3 square. You know, don't forget, is wherever we see x, we put 3. So where we did this LCM, it is not here. It is where we did the LCM here. That's where you are going to put your values. That will be b into bracket 3 minus 3. This 3 minus, anywhere we see x, we put 3. Then here is 1 minus 3 plus c. Here will now be 3 minus 3. So here will give us what? 2 plus 3, 5 equals to a into bracket. Here is what? Minus 2 square. 1 minus 3 is minus 2. Then plus b. Here is what? 0 multiplied by what? Minus 2. Then plus c. Here is what? 0. So here will give us 5 equals to, there is a into bracket minus 2 square. Minus 2 square will give us plus 4, right? That will give us plus 4 plus b into bracket. 0 times minus 2 is what? 0. Then plus c into bracket 0. I hope you understand. Then 5 equals to, a times 4 is what? 4a. B times 0 is 0. C times 0 is 0. So what do we have? 5 equals to 4a. You know we are looking for a, so we divide both sides by 4, right? Therefore, what's our value for a? Our a is what? 5 over 4. This is our value for a. I hope you understand. I hope you understand. So that is how we got a. Now it remains b and c. You know what's the next thing? You know b and c are the same. They look alike. So though I know you will say to find, I know the next thing you have to say is to find b, right? The next thing you have to say is to find b. You come under b and say put what? Put 1 minus x equals to 0, right? Put 1 minus x equals to 0. So what will be your answer here? 1 will be equals to, when minus x cross, that will be x, right? Therefore, x equals to 1. But you know, when you solve the answer finish, you will see that it is not b actually. Though it is b, you thought we were looking for, but it is not b, it is c. You know, don't forget they look alike. It is repeated, right? You know, that's the way I did it in the first video, where we say you come under this, you come under, you know, but it is you are finding c. Don't worry, we will check. We can, or let's just leave it and continue. Let's just leave it and continue so that we will know. We'll come back and put what we are looking for. So when we have gotten x equals to 1, so where we did the LCM, that same where we put where we did the LCM, anywhere we see x, we put what? We put 1. So here will be what? 2 plus 1, right? So here will be 2. I'm sorry. So here will be 2 plus 1 equals to, here will now be a into bracket 1 minus 1 square, right? This is 1 minus 1 all square. Then plus b. So here will be what? 3 minus 1. And here will be what? 1 minus 1, right? Then plus c. Here will now be 3 minus what? 1. 3 minus 1. Now 2 plus 1 is what? That will give us 3. 1 minus 1, 0 all square. Plus b. 3 minus 1, 2. 1 minus 1, 0. Plus c. 3 minus 1, 2. So what are we going to have? That will be giving us 3. Then a into bracket 0 square will give us what? 0. Then plus b. 2 times 0 is what? 0. Then plus c into bracket 2, right? So that will give us 3 equals to, a times 0 is what? 0. B times 0 is 0. C times 2 is what? 2c. So what do we have? 3 is equals to 2c. So we will divide both sides by 2 because we are looking for c. Therefore, c is equals to what? 3 over 2. And that's how we get the answer for c. I hope you understand. So that's how we get the answer for c. Now, moving to the next one. You see that I told you that it is not b we are looking for. Though you said put 1 minus x equals to what? 0. But because b and c are the same, it is just a repeated of it. So it is actually c we were looking for here. But that one does not make you get confused when you are doing for a distinct linear factor. You know, when you are doing for a distinct linear factor, and here is 1 minus x 1, and here is 3 minus x 1 minus x, and let's say for example our c is 1 plus x. You know, that one is different. They are all different. You know, this is just a distinct linear. You know, you say to find a, you say put 3 minus x equals to 0. To find b, you say put 1 minus x equals to 0. To find c, you say put 1 plus x equals to 0, because they are different, right? Shey you understand? That one does not stop the knowledge. But because this one is a repeated, so it is not b we are looking for, it was c. Now, how do you now get b? This is where the major issue comes from. How do you get b? You get b by what? You know, there's no how you want to, if you want to say, okay, put 1 minus x all square equals to 0. It's not possible now. It's still the same thing we are doing, right? Because you know, it's just like saying, okay, how do you remove the square? You say square root both sides, 1 minus x all square, then equals to square root of 0. This cancel this. That will be 1 minus x equals to square root of 0 is 0, right? So that will be 1 equals to what? When minus x equals, that will be x. X equals to 1. Is it not still the same thing? So even if I put this one to 0, it's still the same answer I will still get for C. Do you understand? So how do you not get this B? How do you not get B? That is where the issue comes from. Now, it is not hard. What do we now do? You come back to this LCM here. You will come back to this LCM. You will now come and expand. You will do what? You will expand this LCM. That's the only way you can use to get B. Do you get? So, but before we can, you don't just expand immediately. You have to have gotten something, because it is those values we are going to use to get B when we expand finish. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. So now you can pause the video and write this, or you can just take a screenshot while we clean this part. Now let's expand this value now. So that will be giving us 2 plus x equals to a into bracket. This 1 minus x all square, it means 1 minus x, 1 minus x. You know, that's what it means. 1 minus x in two places. This is the meaning, right? This 1 minus x all square, it means 1 minus x, 1 minus x. Then we have plus b. Then we have 3 minus x, 1 minus x. Then we have plus c, which is 3 minus x. Now, let's expand. What are we going to have? We're going to have 2 plus x equals to a into bracket. 1 multiplied by 1 is what? 1. 1 multiplied by minus x, minus x. Minus x multiplied by 1 is what? Minus x. Minus x multiplied by minus x is what? Plus x square. So plus b. Then we have 3 multiplied by 1 is what? 3. 3 multiplied by minus x, minus 3x, right? Then minus x multiplied by 1, minus x. Minus x multiplied by minus x, plus x square, plus c. Then we have 3 minus x. So now, let's finish it inside the bracket. That will be 2 plus x equals to a into bracket 1 minus x is what? Minus 2x plus x square plus b. This will give us 3 minus 3x minus x will be what? Minus 4x plus x square. Then we have plus c, then 3 minus x. So let's now use the a, b, and c to open the bracket. So what do we have? We have 2 plus x. A multiplied by 1, a. A multiplied by minus 2x, minus 2ax, right? A multiplied by x square is what? Ax square. B multiplied by 3, 3b. B multiplied by minus 4x is what? Minus 4bx. Then b multiplied by x square is what? Bx square. Then plus c multiplied by 3 is 3c. Then c multiplied by minus x is what? Minus cx. So we've just expanded it. Now the next thing you have to do is you say taking coefficient. Taking coefficients. Now, when we are taking coefficient now, you look, what's the highest power of x? The highest power of x among all these values is what? X square. So that I'm starting with x square. That's the highest power. Now, this is the equal sign. This is the equal sign. You know, this anything on this side is the left hand side. We call it left hand side. While anything on this side, we call it right hand side, right? So now on the left hand side, you know, on the left hand side, I have 2 plus x. 2 plus x. On the left hand side now, what is the coefficient of x square? On the left hand side, do I have x square? No, I don't have x square. So what will be the coefficient? The coefficient will be what? 0 because there is no x square on the left hand side, right? So on the right hand side, let's now pick the coefficient of what? X square. On the right hand side, what will be the coefficient of x square? Now let's look for x square. This is x square. What is the coefficient? Plus a. So that's a, right? Just only the coefficient. You are not to pick it with x square again, just the coefficient. Let's go again for x square. What is the coefficient of x square? Plus b. Is there any x square? No. So you call this equation 1. You call this equation 1. Now after x square, what followed by what? X. Now on the left hand side, what is the coefficient of x? You know this is x. What is the coefficient? The coefficient here is invisible 1, so that's 1 equals to. On the right hand side, what is the coefficient of x? Let's look for x. This is x. What is the coefficient? That's minus 2a. You have to take it with the sign. Minus 2a. You have to take it with the sign. Let's go for x again. This is x. What is the coefficient? Minus 4b. What else again? X. That's what? Minus c. Call this equation 2. Now, the last thing is the constant, right? When we say constant, constant means the one without x. So what is the value? What is the constant here on the left hand side? That's 2. You say 2 is equals to. On the right hand side, let's look for the one without x at all. This is a, right? The one without x. Let's go again. Plus 3b. Then let's go again. Then what? Plus 3c. Call this equation 3. Now, our major aim is to get b. You know, that's why we expanded. You know, we've gotten a and we've gotten c, right? We've gotten a and we've gotten c. So, but our major aim is to get b. But from equation 1, I can get b because I know a already. Or if you like, you can come to equation 2. I know a and c, I can get b. Do you understand? So let's check from equation 1 first. So we'll say from equation 1. What is equation 1? Equation 1 says 0 is equals to a plus b, right? That's 0 is equals to. Don't forget, what is the value for a that we got? The value for a is 5/4 plus b, right? So let's bring 5/4 to the other side. When it cross, it will change to minus 5/4 equals to what? We have b here. So therefore, what's my value for b? My b is minus 5/4. Do you understand? So, and that's how you get the value for b. Now let's check. Let's put it inside equation 2 and see if we're going to arrive at the same answer. You can put inside equation 3. Let's check. From equation 2. Equation 2 says 1 is equals to minus 2a minus 4b minus c, right? So let's insert 1 equals to minus 2 multiplied by what's our a? 5/4 minus 4b. Then minus what's the answer for c? 3/2, right? 3/2. So what are we going to have? We're going to have 1 is equals to, okay, let's just minus 2 multiplied by 5 is what? Minus 10/4. If you like, you can divide them and say 2 here 1, 2 in 4, 2, and you have minus 5/2. It's still the same thing. So minus 4b, then minus 3/2. Now that will give us 1 equals to, you know, we can reduce 2 in minus 10 is what? Minus 5. 2 in 4, 2. Minus 4b minus 3/2. What are we going to do here? LCM. Let's finish this right hand side first. That's 1 equals to, what's the LCM? 2. Don't forget, this is like over 1. 2 in 2, 1. 1 times minus 5, minus 5. 1 in 2, 2. 2 times minus 4 is what? Minus 8b, right? Then 2 in 2, 1. 1 times minus 3 is what? Minus 3. So what do we now have? 1 is equals to minus 5 minus 3 will give us what? Minus 8 minus 8b over 2. So what do? We cross multiply. So when you cross multiply, what are you going to have? We're going to have 2 is equals to minus 8 minus 8b. 2 multiplied by 1 is 2. So what do we have? Let's take minus 8b here. When minus 8b cross, it will change to 8b. Then we have minus 8. When 2 cross, it will change to minus 2. So that will give us 8b equals to what? Minus 10. Minus 8 minus 2 is minus 10. So we divide both sides by what? 8. Therefore, b is equals to, what can go in 10 and can go in 8? That's 2. That's minus 5/4. You see that the answer is the same. So either you put it inside equation 3 also, you still arrive at the same what? At the same answer. So we've gotten for A, B, and C now. We've gotten for A, B, and C. So what do you do next? The last thing, that's the final thing, the last thing. I can't squeeze it here. So I have to take a screenshot of it or you can just pause the video and write. So while I clean this part. So the last thing now is to return everything back. You have to return everything back. If you just get A, B, and C and you stop there, you are wrong. Because you have to return it back into the partial fraction for you to get your full mark. Now, what is the partial fraction? Don't forget we splitted it as 2 plus x over 3 minus x 1 minus x all square. Don't forget we splitted it as a over 3 minus x plus b over 1 minus x then plus c over 1 minus x all square. Don't forget this is how we splitted it, right? Now let's return the values there. What did we get for a? You say 5 over 4 then over 3 minus x, right? Then plus what did we get for b? Minus 5 over 4. You put inside bracket. Then over 1 minus x. Then plus what did we get for c? 3 over 2. Then over 1 minus x all square. Now, what do we do now? If you look at it very well, let me just give you an illustration. Let's say we have a over b, then all over c, right? A over b, then all over c. It's the same thing as saying a over b divided by c, right? A over b, then divided by c. That would be a over b. When you change it to multiplication, what goes? This comes down. That's 1 over c. That will give us a over bc, right? So don't forget, this one that is on top, then let's say this is a, this is b, this is c. So meaning that this whole thing, I can write it as 5 over 4 into bracket 3 minus x. If you look at it, what do we later have? We later have a over b multiplied by c, right? This is a, this is b, this is c. Meaning this 4 can come down right into bracket multiplied by the one that is down before. Do you understand what we did there? Then plus times minus is what? Minus. Then we have 5. Then the 4 will come down. Then we have into bracket 1 minus x. Then plus 3 will stay up. Then 2 will come down. Then we have 1 minus x all square. So this is our final answer. So please don't forget, if you find this video helpful, please do well to like and share. Thank you.